In the last 18 months, AI has learned to write code, diagnose cancer, pass the bar exam, and hold a conversation you can't tell apart from a human. Goldman Sachs says 300 million jobs are at risk, and 2/3 of all occupations will be disrupted. So here's the question no one is actually answering. Which jobs will still be standing? Here's the problem with every list you've seen about AI-proof jobs. Most of them were written by people who don't actually understand how AI works. They say things like, be creative, or develop emotional intelligence, and leave it at that. But that's not a strategy, that's a fortune cookie. What we actually need to ask isn't, can AI do this task? Because honestly, AI can do most tasks, at least partially. The right question is, does doing this job well require something AI fundamentally cannot replicate, even in 2030? That's a completely different question, and it leads to completely different answers. I've spent time analyzing research from MIT, Stanford, and the World Economic Forum, and I found 5 job categories that pass this test. Not because AI is bad at them today, but because of what these jobs are actually made of at their core. All right, let's get into it. Before we start, if you think you already know what's on this list, I guarantee at least 2 of these will surprise you. Number 1, and this one shocked me when I first thought about it, is the crisis negotiator. Think about what this job actually demands. You're talking to someone who is about to end their life, or who is holding hostages in a bank, or who has completely lost trust in every institution around them. And your job is to build trust in real time, not over weeks, not through a carefully crafted message, right now, in this moment. AI can simulate empathy. Large language models are actually quite good at generating empathetic-sounding responses. But here's what AI cannot do. It cannot carry consequence. When a human negotiator says, "I hear you, I'm here with you," that person on the other end of the line knows that another human being is choosing to be present. That choice carries weight. An algorithm making the same statement carries none. The physical and vocal presence of a human, the micro tremors in the voice, the breathing patterns, the silences, all of these communicate something that text or even audio generated by AI simply cannot replicate authentically under high-stakes scrutiny. Here's one that sounds almost too obvious, but the reason behind it isn't what you'd expect. The wilderness guide or expedition leader survives not because robots can't walk in the woods, they can, but because of something called embodied cognition. Humans don't just think with their brains, we think with our bodies. When an experienced guide crosses a river, they're not running a mental algorithm. They're feeling the current against their legs, reading the way their balance shifts, smelling the air, noticing a sound that doesn't fit. That full-body sensory integration and the ability to make life or death calls based on it in real time, in environments you've never been in before, is something robotics engineers call the Moravec paradox. What's easy for humans is incredibly hard for robots. What's hard for humans, math, chess, is easy for machines. A robot can tell you the elevation. A human guide can tell you whether this mountain is going to kill you today. This one might be the most important. AI is already being used in hospitals. It reads scans, flags anomalies, suggests treatment plans. In many cases, it's more accurate than human doctors. But a palliative care nurse, someone who works with people in their final days or weeks of life, does something that no system, no matter how sophisticated, can replicate. They bear witness. When someone is dying, the presence of another human being, fallible, mortal, experiencing their own fear of death, carries a meaning that a machine presence cannot. It's not about information. It's not about accuracy. It's about the existential weight of being seen by another person who also knows what it means to be alive. There is also the question of moral responsibility. Families, patients, institutions, all of them need to know that a human being is accountable for the care given. An AI can optimize. It cannot be responsible in the way that matters when someone's mother is dying. Here's the one that surprises most people. You'd think AI would absolutely dominate politics and persuasion. It can write more compelling copy than most humans. It can A/B test messaging at scale. It can analyze voter sentiment in real time. And yet, the human political strategist, and especially the community organizer, is more valuable than ever. Here's why. Trust is not transferable through automation. When a neighbor knocks on your door and tells you about a local issue that matters, that conversation carries weight because that person is real, local, and accountable. They live near you. They have a stake in the outcome. The political strategist who wins isn't the one with the best algorithm. It's the one who can read a room, build coalitions between people who don't trust each other, and navigate the chaos of human irrationality. That's not a bug, that's the entire job. The fifth one is the most counterintuitive and, in my opinion, the most fascinating. AI can generate art. It can compose music, write novels, design buildings. In terms of pure output quality, it often rivals or surpasses what most humans produce. But here's something strange that's happening in the market. Handmade goods are becoming more valuable, not less. A violin made by a master luthier in Cremona isn't just an instrument, it's a physical artifact that carries the fingerprints, literally, of a human being's decades of practice. When you hold it, you're in contact with someone's life's work. As AI flooding the market with flawless digital content, human imperfection becomes a luxury signal. The slightly uneven edge on a handmade ceramic bowl isn't a flaw. It's proof of origin. It's proof that a person made this, and that carries a market premium that will only grow. So if you look at all 5 of these together, a pattern emerges. There are really 3 things that make a job AI resistant. And if you understand these 3 things, you can apply them to almost any career, including yours. The first pattern, moral and existential weight. Crisis negotiators, palliative nurses, these jobs exist in moments where someone needs to know that a human being with their own mortality and their own fear is present and accountable. You can't outsource that. The second pattern, embodied real-world judgment. The Wilderness Guide and the political organizer both operate in environments that are chaotic, unstructured, and always changing. This is where human cognition, full body, intuitive, contextual, still completely outperforms any system we've built. The third pattern, the authenticity premium. When machines produce everything perfectly, human imperfection becomes the rarest luxury. The artisan is selling not just an object, they're selling proof of human origin, and that market is growing. Now, here's what I want you to take from this. These 3 patterns aren't just about specific jobs, they're about what you should be developing in yourself. Where can you build moral accountability in what you do? Where can you build real-world presence and judgment? And where can your human origin become a selling point, not a liability? Before I leave you, I have one question. Which of these 5 surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this changed how you think about the AI job question, even slightly, hit subscribe. We put out new videos every week on the future of robotics, AI, and what all of this actually means for real human lives. Not hype, not panic, just the clearest picture we can build. And in the next video, we're flipping this completely. Instead of which jobs survive, we're looking at which jobs are disappearing faster than anyone is talking about, including 3 that people still think are completely safe in 2026. One of them will genuinely shock you. See you there.